Welcome everybody to our latest review of a horror film, and happy Halloween as well. And it is 1969's The Oblong Box. This has been released by BFI, and it's directed by Gordon Hesler, who also did Scream and Scream Again, Cry of the Banshee, and The Woman Who Wouldn't Die. And it's a gothic horror clocking in at 96 minutes long, stars Vincent Price, who I've seen now in well over 50 films. Most recently, I've talked about him in the likes of The Witchfinder General, which has been given a really rather nice 4K release. So it's really nice to have even more of his releases being given the Blu-ray treatment. He's also had the Bloodbath at the House of Death that's also been released. Now he's not in a lead actor in that, but he is in it regardless. So it's again we're getting plenty of more of his releases on Blu-ray and 4K. So that's only a good thing considering I'm trying to get as many of his films in my collection as possible. Also stars Christopher Lee, who I've seen in 45 other films. He was also in the likes of The Wicker Man, which we talked about last year, that had a 4K release, as well as 1958's Dracula and The Devil Rides Out. And finally, Rupert Davies, who was also in Witchfinder General. So, evil lurks in the gloomy house at Markham Manor, where a deranged Sir Edward is the chained prisoner of his brother, Julian. When Sir Edward escapes, he embarks on a monstrous killing spree, determined to seek revenge on all those who he feels have double crossed him. So, although this has a couple of unnecessary exploitative scenes, it is overall a solid effort that is elevated by the presence of Vincent Price, who, as per usual, is great. He always lends a great deal to any film that he's in, no matter how small his role is. But thankfully, this is a leading role from him. The rest of the cast is also good, especially Christopher Lee. It is well paced. It has an effective amount of violence. The plot is predominantly engrossing. Its themes of premature burial and masked figures are used nicely. The score is decent. The production is reasonable, and I really rather like the ending. No, it isn't particularly original, and some scenes do feel like filler. There's a scene in a pub where a lot of people are just getting up to rowdy nonsense, and there's a lot of music, and it does feel a bit like a filler scene. But this is overall a really rather entertaining effort. So yeah, one I highly recommend. 3.5 out of 5. Certainly my favourite of the Gordon Hesler and Vincent Price collaborations, because they both collaborated also on Scream and Scream Again and Cry of the Banshee. Both of those get 3 out of 5, but this, like I said, gets 3.5. So yeah, really rather solid effort. Not Vincent Price's best film from the 70s. You know, you got like Theatre of Blood and The Abominable Dr. Thieves. They're definitely better than this, but this is still overall solid. And yeah, been given a really rather nice release. So yeah, we also get a booklet with this as well. And yeah, in the booklet we get. By the way, these have spoiler warnings on the write-ups in this, so yeah, that's why I'm not going to go through them. But you got Unlocking the Oblong Box by Peter Fuller. I won't show you too many images either because they do have some spoilers to them. And then we got Boxed In and Bowing Out. Michael Reeves Quits the Oblong Box by Benjamin Halligan. So yeah, Michael Reeves obviously died really rather young after only doing a few films. Did back out of doing this, I believe, because he also did The Sorcerers with Boris Karloff and also Witchfinder General with Vincent Price. But for whatever, I've not properly read through, but for whatever reason, he did back out of doing that, this film. And then we've also got, yeah, special features that it mentions. So we've got the likes of The Immortal Mr. Price, which clocks in at 17 minutes long. It's from 2024. And it's basically Vincent Price's daughter Victoria reflects upon her father's life, career, and excursions to England around the time of the Oblong Box in an interview recorded exclusively for this release. We've also got The Bells from 1913. Now, it's a black and white short silent film for, clocking at 15 minutes long. So it's apparently a marvelously melodramatic short drama of star-crossed lovers, duty, and devotion, which was inspired by Poe's famously onom- onomatopoetic poem. I've never heard of that word, so don't know how to say it. But it's an innovative experimental piece that was published shortly after the author's death in 1849. That's the poem, that is not the film. And then we also have Prelude from 1927. So this is again another black and white silent short film, clocking in at 7 minutes long. It's basically Rachmaninoff's wonderfully disturbing prelude in C sharp minor sets the tone for Castleton Knight's silent, nightmarish reverie on Poe's The Premature Burial. A man listening to the prelude is transported to a hellish avant-garde setting, repeat, with funny angles, skulls, and a corpse eye view. Then we also have The Pit from 1962. It's in black and white, 27 minutes long. And yeah, that seems like it's got a couple of cast members in it. But I'm not sure what that's about. There is a write-up by James Bell about it though, so that's decent. And then we've also got Roger Corman on Edgar Allan Poe. Rest in peace, Roger Corman. He obviously died earlier this year, I think it was. That's from 2013. It clocks in at 9 minutes long. So the late Roger Corman, who directed Vincent Price in various acclaimed gothic horrors produced for American International Pictures in the 1960s, all of which I do own, discusses his Edgar Allan Poe adaptations, including The Pit and the Pendulum and The Mask of the Red Death. And we also have an image gallery as well. So this has been supplied to the BFI by MGM and is presented in high definition in its original aspect ratio of 1:85:1 with the original mono sound. And yeah, no issues with the picture quality, no issues with the sound quality either. And extras we also have on the disc outside of what I've already said are a theatrical trailer and audio commentary by film historian Steve Haberman from 2015. And yeah, and image gallery with the original stills and promotional materials as well. So yeah, quite a hefty release this has been. It's nice to see that they've even put some effort into producing stuff for the release itself, and it's not just, you know, archival stuff, which is very easy to do. So yeah, solid film. Not Vincent Price's best, but neither is it his worst, and neither is it the worst from the director either. So yeah, overall a solid film. But yeah, if you were looking for Edgar Allan Poe adaptations from Vincent Price, then I do recommend the Roger Corman series of films that he did in the 1960s, which are these big boys. Highly, highly recommend these. They are absolutely superb and yeah, really, really well done. So yeah, these are Vincent Price films from the 60s, and yeah, these are pretty much one of the best runs from any actor that I've ever seen. So yeah, but you know, Vincent Price has an even wider body of work than just those that are shown, or even this film that we're reviewing today. You know, his 50s work, his 70s work, his 80s work. Yeah, there's all good stuff throughout all of those decades, quite frankly, and yeah, the more that we get from him, the better, quite frankly, and yeah, I think I own at least 20, 25 of his films now. So yeah, hopefully more of them will get released at some point. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. If you have seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. Hope you have a very happy Halloween, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.